Okay, thank you, Sin.
All right, it seems we are now live streaming and recording part 7 for Africa. So Guy, please, the floor is over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here with us in this Peace Wave, part 7 for Africa. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone, and welcome to the Africa segment of this edition of the Peace Wave organized by World Beyond War in partnership with the International Peace Bureau, Stop the War Coalition, Philippines, and Gen Sukyo. So as we are joining today with countless peace advocates from around the globe, we are happy to be part of the dynamic 24-hour-long event that features peace actions across the continent, across different continents, some of which are live. So today, I'm honored to guide you through this part of the Peace Wave, where we'll highlight the vital role of young people and communities, organizations in shaping a peaceful, disarm, and just future for Africa. So this Africa segment of the Peace Wave showcases the role of African organizations and young people in promoting peace, disarmament, and security. So through presentations, discussions, and actions, we will highlight the effort across Africa to build a future free from militarization. We will see a public event from Cameroon, a youth peace forum from the Gambia, and we'll have a call for disarmament from Nigeria, a panel discussion on disarmament, and more. So all about how various African organizations are coming together to contribute to this global movement for peace. So our event today will feature these voices of those people from this organization, from the continent, who are working tirelessly to promote peace, to confront militarization, and stand against war in all its form. So we are going to begin this session with a presentation by the Cameroon chapter of World Beyond War, who hosted an event on mobilizing youth for peace. So we are going to see this video of these people from Cameroon. So thanks for sharing the video. Thanks. Bienvenue. Le temps ne nous a pas permis de nous mouvoir un peu plus parce que avec la tenue du matin, c'est pas évident. Donc nous sommes là parce que nous voulons échanger sur quelques sujets, notamment pour parler de ce que nous faisons. Ce que nous faisons tous les jours en termes de construction de la paix. On va parler de la paix. Alors pourquoi le sujet de la paix est pertinent maintenant? Parce que notre pays, le Cameroun, a besoin de nous, plus que par le passé. On a besoin de nous plus que par le passé. On a besoin que nous nous engagions un peu plus activement pour faire régner la paix. Alors quand nous serons en salle, on va parler peut-être davantage de ce que c'est que la paix et de comment on peut contribuer. Mais ici, je voulais quand même vous présenter notre organisation qui s'appelle World Beyond War, vous dire ce que nous faisons dans le cadre de cette organisation-là et comment vous pouvez vous engager. D'après vous, World Beyond War, c'est quoi? D'après ce que nous avons expliqué tantôt, tu peux nous dire ce que c'est World Beyond War?
D'après moi, World Beyond War, c'est une organisation qui permet de lutter contre la guerre, de promouvoir la sécurité, d'entendre la C'est une organisation qui permet de promouvoir la paix dans le monde, plus précisément au Cameroun aussi.
Merci.
WorldBeyondWar, c'est une organisation qui agit en mode préventif, c'est-à-dire qui permet de prévenir et de chercher à résoudre les problèmes de loin, les problèmes de guerre. Et en fait, c'est une organisation qui permet d'anticiper les maux à venir.
Donc maintenant, la deuxième question que WorldBeyondWar c'est ce que WorldBeyondWar fait et quels sont les moyens par lesquels nous engageons. Et en termes d'activité aussi, je crois que Amel va aussi prendre la parole pour nous parler de quelques sujets que nous faisons en termes de désarmement. Parce que WorldBeyondWar, c'est un mouvement qui se veut non violent et qui a pour ambition de mettre fin à tous les conflits, à toutes les guerres qui secouent le monde et chez nous, et surtout par des moyens non violents. Ok, donc Roméo, je vais te donner la parole pour peut-être dans quelques 5 minutes présenter ce que le chapitre du Cameroun fait. Parce qu'il faut dire que WorldBeyondWar, c'est un mouvement d'individus qui travaillent avec des chapitres constitués dans plusieurs localités dans le monde. Maintenant, le chapitre du Cameroun, lui, il a commencé en 2020. Et qu'est-ce que le chapitre fait au quotidien? Donc, Roméo, je vais te passer la parole.
Je suis le coordonnateur du chapitre Cameroun de l'organisation WorldBeyondWar. WorldBeyondWar est une organisation mondiale et dans chaque pays, du moins, beaucoup de pays aujourd'hui ont leur chapitre. Au Cameroun, nous faisons dans plusieurs sujets, dans plusieurs domaines, notamment l'éducation à la paix. L'éducation à la paix est ce domaine par lequel nous formons, nous encourageons les jeunes à être des acteurs de paix, des ambassadeurs de paix, à travers des séances de formation et de sensibilisation que celles que nous menons aujourd'hui, à travers des campagnes sur les réseaux sociaux et différentes activités que nous organisons. Nous menons également des plaidoyers. Le plaidoyer, c'est en quelque sorte des faveurs ou alors ce que nous demandons pour encourager les autorités ou les décideurs à prendre un certain nombre de décisions vers de la paix. Nous menons des activités sur le terrain et dans les établissements scolaires, beaucoup plus. Nous avons été au lycée de Dala, nous avons été au lycée de Bangong, nous avons mené plusieurs activités. Donc, WorldBeyondWar aujourd'hui a formé ou alors continue de former plusieurs jeunes dans les différents domaines que je viens d'énoncer, notamment l'éducation à la paix, la sensibilisation à la non-violence. Donc nous encourageons beaucoup plus les jeunes à être des acteurs de paix, à être ceux qui, dans leur environnement familial, éducatif, associatif, scolaire, encouragent la paix, encourage la résolution des conflits, parce que des conflits, il y en a toujours, la résolution non violente de ces conflits-là. Pour rejoindre le mouvement, pour rejoindre WorldBeyondWar, c'est très simple. Nous avons notre page Facebook, Cameroun for a WorldBeyondWar. Nous avons un site internet et également nos locaux que nous partageons avec notre organisation qui vous accueille aujourd'hui. Et également les contacts que vous pourrez avoir tout à l'heure quand nous allons rentrer en salle. Merci d'être venu aujourd'hui. Nous vous invitons à rejoindre le mouvement pour construire ensemble et participer à la construction d'un monde, d'un Cameroun non violent, dans la paix. Merci.
Qui stipule que nous nous engageons à travailler activement pour la paix en reconnaissant que la guerre nous détruit, que la guerre siphonne nos économies, la guerre nous divise, la guerre nous rend vulnérables, la guerre détruit l'environnement. Et actuellement, dans le monde, plusieurs milliers de personnes ont signé la déclaration et c'est en le faisant qu'on constitue une masse importante de personnes qui comprennent que en face de ceux qui militarisent le monde, en face de ceux qui utilisent les armes pour résoudre le problème et pour multiplier le conflit, on constitue aussi à notre niveau en face une force importante de personnes qui, sans les armes, mais plutôt avec nos actions non violentes, peuvent également faire le poids. L'expérience, la non-violence est plus utile, elle est plus efficace que la violence parce qu'elle ne laisse pas de séquelles dans la résolution des conflits. Donc nous allons vous donner le lien de cette déclaration-là, ça vous prendra 1 minute pour signer la déclaration en ligne, c'est-à-dire marquer votre adresse email, marquer votre localité et soumettre en ligne. Ça vous permettra de recevoir chaque jour toutes les informations sur ce que nous faisons au niveau du Cameroun et aussi de ce que les autres chapitres de WorldBeyondWar font dans le monde. Donc vous allez recevoir tout à l'heure quand on va remonter dans la salle. C'est 1 minute pour la signer en ligne. Bon, mais à présent, maintenant, je vais passer la parole à Amel de façon concrète. Qu'elle nous dise, quand nous parlons de désarmement, qu'est-ce que nous faisons concrètement en termes de désarmement? Quelles sont quelques initiatives majeures à venir à un désarmement Amel.
Okay, bonjour les amis, je suis contente que vous soyez là et je pense que si vous êtes là, c'est parce que vous êtes pour la paix. Et si on est pour la paix, ça veut dire qu'on doit forcément être contre les armes. Vous savez que s'il y a des conflits dans le monde ou bien dans notre pays, c'est pourquoi. Est-ce qu'on fait la guerre avec les bâtons? Est-ce qu'on fait la guerre avec les bonbons et les beignets? C'est avec les armes qu'on fait la guerre. Donc notre travail, notre plaidoyer depuis des années, ce que nous faisons, nous menons des actions pour que notre pays, le Cameroun, aussi bien, ça c'est au niveau du Cameroun, parce que nos actions sont au niveau national, au niveau régional, au niveau international. Nous menons des actions pour que le monde abandonne les armes, pour utiliser le dialogue, la non-violence pour résoudre les conflits. Vous savez qu'on ne peut pas vivre sans conflit. Les conflits font partie du monde. C'est la façon, les solutions qu'on propose pour résoudre les conflits. Dans nos actions, ce que nous menons, nous faisons depuis des années, c'est nous faisons des actions de plaidoyer, de sensibilisation d'abord des populations sur les dangers des armes. Parce que vous savez qu'il y a les guerres au Cameroun, au nord-ouest, au sud-ouest, Boko Haram là-bas. Donc nous sensibilisons les populations au danger des armes. Les populations ne doivent pas manipuler les armes. Ceux qui doivent manipuler les armes, c'est les hommes en tenue, les militaires, les policiers, parce qu'ils sont formés pour utiliser les armes. Mais quand les armes se trouvent entre les mains des personnes qui ne sont pas formées, ça ne peut être utilisé pour commettre des crimes, des guerres. C'est pour ça que nos actions, nous sensibilisons les gens afin que tous ceux qui ramassent même les armes, aussi bien dans votre entourage, vous connaissez quelqu'un qui a l'arme, qui ne doit pas avoir l'arme, vous devez lui dire non, c'est pas ton travail, tu n'as pas à avoir l'arme, c'est une autorité. Donc voilà, nous sensibilisons les populations sur les dangers des armes et la nécessité parfois de dénoncer ceux qui ont les armes afin que les armes puissent rentrer dans les mains des personnes qui ont la responsabilité. En ratifiant les instruments, maintenant que c'est ratifié, en veillant à ce que ce qui est dit là soit appliqué. Que si on dit que le gouvernement doit aider les populations à ne plus avoir les armes, qui mettent à la disposition des policiers, tout ça, des outils pour qu'ils puissent assurer un contrôle efficace. C'est ce que nous faisons. Dans les établissements scolaires, nous travaillons beaucoup dans les lycées avec les jeunes de votre âge pour leur dire les armes, ce n'est pas bien. Attention, parce que celui qui commence à fumer la drogue ou bien commence à être violent, de là utiliser une arme, il n'a même pas à franchir. Nous travaillons beaucoup dans les établissements avec les jeunes comme vous. Nous les sensibilisons sur les dangers des armes et la nécessité de promouvoir les solutions pacifiques aux différents. Et ça, c'est ce que nous faisons également au niveau dans les établissements scolaires. Et nous les mamans, dans nos réunions même, on saisit aussi l'opportunité de nos réunions entre mamans pour parler parce que nous les mamans, nous sommes les mamans des enfants. Et quand nous parlons entre nous, à la maison, chacune relaie l'information à son enfant, qui relaie à son frère, à son ami. Donc voilà un peu quelques actions que nous menons de façon basique pour contrôler, pour faire que les armes ne prolifèrent plus et promouvoir la paix dans notre pays.
Bien programmé pour faire la guerre.
Merci. Un robot qui est programmé pour faire la guerre. Et j'aurais peut-être commencé par vous dire qui connaît ce que c'est qu'un robot. Qui a vu un robot? Ne soyez pas timide. Mon ami, qui a vu un robot? Même à la télé, tu n'as jamais vu. Mais j'ai à la télé, non. Est-ce que à la télé, tu as vu un robot, non? Voilà. Le robot, c'est à faire quoi? Oui.
Ça nous aide dans nos multi-travaux.
Voilà. Ça aide dans nos multi-travaux. Maintenant, on veut que ça puisse par exemple faire quoi? Le robot, par exemple, faire quoi? Qui peut nous dire? Pas toi. La fille qui est devant moi.
Le robot peut nous aider
à haute voix, s'il te plaît.
Les robots, certains robots peuvent nous aider à travailler, à faire nos tâches, certaines tâches, à certaines activités comme le service au niveau du restaurant. Il y a des blancs ont créé de nombreux robots pour faire de certaines activités. Comme les tâches ménagères, les services stables et tant d'autres.
Voilà, c'est très bien. Donc, les robots ont les tâches ménagères. Maintenant, quand on dit un robot tueur, ça veut dire que ça fait quoi? Est-ce qu'on doit fabriquer un animal pour tuer les autres? Donc, c'est ça. Donc, depuis 2017, nous menons une campagne au niveau du Cameroun, au niveau de l'Afrique, contre les robots tueurs. Pour ça, les robots tueurs, ce sont des robots, comme Yannick a dit, des robots fabriqués pour tuer. Parce que l'homme s'est rendu compte que quand les grandes puissances, quand il y a la guerre, ils envoient les soldats partent mourir. Ils ne veulent plus que les soldats meurent. Ils veulent économiser leur population, mais ils fabriquent des robots. Et les robots tueurs, ce qui est dangereux, c'est que c'est des robots qui peuvent être, c'est pas parce que c'est un robot que c'est gros, hein. Ça peut être minuscule comme la mouche, c'est miniaturisé. Et quand on a programmé, il part, on ne peut plus arrêter. Et quand on programme, quand il part, tout ce qu'il va raconter, ça, il va tuer. Donc ce sont des armes extrêmement dangereuses qui peuvent détruire l'Afrique en une fraction de seconde. Est-ce que l'Afrique fabrique ça? C'est développé ailleurs. Mais si on ne mène pas des actions maintenant pour dire attention, ça risque d'arriver ici, en Afrique, se propager. C'est pour ça que depuis 2017, nous menons des actions pour appeler l'attention, pour leur dire que même si on ne fabrique pas ça en Afrique, même si on fabrique ça au Cameroun, lèvons-nous pour dire qu'on ne veut pas ça. Parce que si ça arrive, ça va nous décimer. Donc ce sont des robots qui ont été fabriqués pour tuer. Et un robot ne doit pas tuer parce que quand c'est la guerre est faite par les hommes, que, par exemple, tu peux aller vouloir tuer la fille, que non, elle est dangereuse, puis la tuer. Parce que tu as le cœur. Donc le cœur peut faire que, la raison peut faire que non. Devant une cible, tu changes encore la vie. Mais les robots ne sont pas, ils sont programmés pour tuer. C'est pour ça que nous menons des actions depuis pour attirer l'attention, pour dire non, nous ne voulons pas que ces technologies se développent. Vous êtes des jeunes, vous avez tous des téléphones manipulés, je vous invite à aller sur Internet. Que d'aller chercher les TikTok, les stars, allez vous regarder ce que c'est que le robot tueur, vous commencez à lire, vous intéressez parce que vous êtes des acteurs du changement. Chacun de vous a le droit et la responsabilité de mener une action pour que la paix règne. Et savoir être au courant de la tendance mondiale afin de pouvoir chacun à ce niveau contribuer pour que ce qui peut nous détruire soit contrôlé le plus tôt possible. Il y a aussi, au-delà des robots, il y a aussi les armes nucléaires. Qui suit l'actualité? Voilà, suit l'actualité. Qu'est-ce qui se passe dans le monde? Entre l'Iran et l'Iran.
Je suis l'actualité dans la presse, les sources ukrainiennes combat contre la Russie.
Oui.
Puis se lance des bombes nucléaires,
voilà.
Et discute des mésententes.
Non, c'est des armes, oui, autre chimique, des armes qu'on ne voit même pas. Donc ça peut être comme l'eau, ça peut être, qui sont en train d'être développés par des puissances pour détruire. Et c'est ça qui fait que le monde est en évolution maintenant parce que les grandes puissances, chaque grande puissance a son arme nucléaire. J'ai ma part, tu me mélanges, je bombarde. Et si on bombarde, ça va pas seulement tuer ceux qui ont fabriqué, ça va éradiquer le monde. Il y avait en 1945, et Nagasaki, debout, voilà. On a lancé la bombe nucléaire. Jusqu'à aujourd'hui, il y a les séquelles. Dans cette zone-là au Japon, il y a des enfants qui naissent avec des malformations, il y a des cancers qui ne sont pas partis sur vie. Et sans compter la destruction de l'humanité, dont nous menons aussi des actions contre contre les armes nucléaires parce que autant les armes, les robots tueurs ou les salades sont néfastes, ou les armes, ça comme ça éradique le monde. Donc voilà les actions que nous sommes en train de faire. Et je vous invite vous tous à aller aujourd'hui, c'est un devoir que je vous ai donné, je vais vous suivre. Aller chercher armes nucléaires, c'est quoi? Un robot tueur, c'est quoi? Qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire, nous, en tant que jeunes, pour que ces armes-là, ces technologies nocives ne viennent pas impacter le Cameroun et l'Afrique et le monde entier. Donc, chacun de vous a la responsabilité de mener une action, de faire quelque chose pour que la paix vienne et que, à toutes les solutions, à tous les conflits qui se déroulent dans le monde, qu'on puisse promouvoir l'approche non violente, le dialogue, la médiation et qu'on puisse mettre l'être humain au centre de toutes les actions humaines.
Comment pensez-vous que vous pouvez être utile au mouvement de paix? WorldBeyondWar, c'est un mouvement de paix. Et donc, nous vous invitons à rejoindre un mouvement de paix. Comment pensez-vous que vous pouvez être utile au mouvement de paix? Que pouvez-vous faire? Quelques exemples de choses que vous pouvez faire au quotidien pour être utile dans la construction du mouvement de paix.
Que nous sommes les futurs leaders de demain, c'est nous qui allons construire le pays et tout. Il est essentiel pour nous de promouvoir des campagnes de sensibilisation contre la guerre, un peu de partout dans le monde entier aussi, beaucoup plus au Cameroun. Organiser des projets de développement communautaire, comme par exemple comme ça on peut se rassembler et puis poser, discuter, échanger par rapport à la terre et puis comment on peut promouvoir cela dans le monde.
Okay.
On peut être utile, on peut éveiller la conscience du peuple dans la promotion de la paix, éveiller la conscience aussi du peuple pour la lutte contre la guerre et présenter les avantages et les inconvénients de la guerre. Et on peut aussi sensibiliser les populations et nous-mêmes d'abord aussi, nous-mêmes commencer par appliquer, par instaurer la paix dans notre environnement.
À participer. Pour nous les jeunes, je pense que nous pouvons réorienter l'usage des réseaux sociaux et faire la publicité parce que les réseaux sociaux sont le meilleur moyen de partage des messages. Donc nous pouvons utiliser ça à valeur publicitaire, oui, valoriser ou bien encore parler des réalités parce que beaucoup ne savent pas. Nos grands-mères par exemple qui sont au village, des fois elles sont sur le net mais elles ne connaissent pas ce qui se passe peut-être en Iran. Donc on peut utiliser les réseaux sociaux pour publier à grande échelle cette réalité-là.
Voilà, merci.
Je pense que nous devons sensibiliser les jeunes dans les milieux scolaires contre l'usage des armes et des armes pour régler les conflits.
Encourager les jeunes à participer à des projets communautaires et offrir des programmes d'éducation et de formation sur la paix.
Auprès de vous, récemment, ou bien le plus lointain que vous pouvez vous souvenir, qu'est-ce que vous avez remarqué autour de vous qui ressemble à une menace à la paix et sur laquelle on doit travailler pour changer? Qu'est-ce que vous avez remarqué comme menace à la paix autour de vous? Alors, quelles sont les menaces à la paix que vous voyez généralement autour de vous et que vous pensez qu'on peut agir dessus pour pouvoir apporter un changement?
Nous avons la perte de la valeur du vivre ensemble. En fait, le vivre ensemble est déjà de nos jours un peu dilué par rapport à avant. Et nous avons aussi la légalisation de certains fléaux sociaux. Un peu comme tribalisme, corruption, donc c'est déjà légalisé. Et du coup, nous devons lutter contre ces fléaux sociaux pour essayer à notre niveau de les diminuer.
On peut aussi identifier que certaines personnes détestent d'autres à cause de leurs différences, soit physiques, soit morales. Et il faut empêcher cela.
Personnellement, je parle plus de la voix du peuple. Parce que quand on regarde, surtout ici au Cameroun, lorsque le peuple n'est pas écouté, c'est déjà une préparation secrète d'une guerre à venir. Oui, donc, nous avons opté pour un pays démocratique qui apparemment n'est pas le cas. Et cette façon de faire ou cette façon de gérer le pouvoir est une autre cause d'une guerre possible au Cameroun. Donc principalement la voie du peuple.
Maintenant, ce que j'ai rencontré dans la société, il y a le tribalisme. La plupart des gens, surtout les Camerounais, nous sommes dans un pays où nous avons plusieurs ethnies différentes et tout. Donc, la plupart aiment tous s'associer entre eux, ethnies identiques, pour vivre. Tantôt, c'est que si tu n'es pas validé, tu n'es pas mon voisin. Même au marché, peut-être comme ça, là, il y a des bails ensemble, qui peuvent rester ensemble pour pouvoir communiquer facilement. Donc, elle ne peut pas, une autre personne qui vit des vies différentes qu'elle, parce qu'elle peut communiquer, s'échanger. Donc, c'est un problème.
Vous devez prendre le train en marche, le train de la paix. Être des ambassadeurs et des ambassadrices de paix auprès de vos familles, de vos amis, de vos camarades de classe, ou même auprès de vos responsables éducatifs. Donc, nous allons faire une photo ici avant de monter dans la salle, s'il vous plaît.
Comme je l'ai dit, nous allons vous donner le lien pour signer la lettre de paix. Maintenant, il y a aussi, pour ceux qui souhaitent apprendre davantage sur ce que WorldBeyondWar fait et sur ce que vous pouvez faire pour être actif dans votre communauté, nous avons un cours en ligne qui est gratuit. C'est la formation à l'organisation 101, comme ça que nous l'appelons. Donc, qui vous permet de comprendre comment fonctionne l'organisation à la base, comment les mouvements peuvent se structurer, comment les individus peuvent être des agents de changement, comment on peut structurer un mouvement et le faire fonctionner de façon non violente, comment on peut organiser des activités sur le plan communautaire. Donc, je vais également vous donner le lien pour vous inscrire. C'est un cours qui se fait de façon gratuitement, de façon gratuite, je vais dire. Pour celui qui s'inscrit, il peut le faire en peut-être 4 semaines si vous y consacrez en moyenne 3 à 5 heures par semaine. Parcourir tous les 4 modules de cours et faire les tâches, les exercices qui sont associés à cela. Donc c'est un cours totalement libre, accessible quand vous souhaitez, quand vous voulez, il n'est pas contraignant. On ne vous demande pas d'être là à 6 heures, non. Vous vous connectez au moment où vous voulez, vous vous déconnectez quand vous souhaitez et vous profitez du temps que vous avez en ligne, vous vous connectez avec d'autres activistes qui font le même cours pour apprendre ces astuces qui vous permettent d'organiser des mouvements et de construire des initiatives de paix et voir ce que les autres ont fait ailleurs, parce que ça peut également nous inspirer. Donc voilà, nous allons prendre notre... Tout le monde n'est pas visible là. Là, il faut que c'est moi qui me recule encore. Ok. Ok, c'est bon, on peut partir. Great. Thank you so much for watching this. This is a kind of gathering that we used to have in Cameroon with kids, with young persons, to talk to them about what they can do for peace, what are the trends in the world, what is happening in the world, so that they are aware of how the world is moving and be conscious that they are agents of change, that we count on them to be peace actors to change what is happening badly in the world. Yes, so in the same, we have in the Gambia, we are going to see another video coming from the Gambia, who recently held a youth peace forum on disarmament with the same topic on the lethal autonomous weapons, the killer robots, and chapter of World Beyond to draw the attention of the leaders, of the decision makers, on how important is it to stand against all the weapons, in particular to stop arms. So let's watch this TV report from the event in the Gambia.
Robots on Saturday at the American Corner in Fajara, marking a significant step in the global campaign against the militarization of artificial intelligence. More in this report by Lamin Ba.
With autonomous weapon systems, often referred to as killer robots, posing profound ethical, humanitarian, and geopolitical risk, the forum sought to educate, engage, and mobilize young Gambians in peace building and AI governance. Through keynote speeches, panel discussions, and interactive sessions, attendees delved into the implications of AWS on global security and human rights. The event drew around 50 participants, including youth leaders, civil society advocates, students, media representatives, and peace activists. This engagement underscored the growing momentum among Gambian youth to demand the preemptive ban on autonomous weapons and push for ethical AI development. Speaking at the event, Omar Mbub, president of World Beyond War, Gambia chapter, emphasized the critical role of AI governance in global peace efforts.
The killer robot is currently in a 200 country in the globe right now. So their main vision is to promote peace and to fight justice and to deal with the human rights equality and to respect law, not automatic kill. The killer robot is a global initiative that established the new international law that rejects the automation of killing and ensure a meaningful human control over the use.
One reason to say no to these dangerous robots is the clear danger of this technology being available to unauthorized people or the serious nature of its uncontrollability. Maria Masane, a keynote speaker who addressed the role of youth in disarmament.
These little autonomous weapons, they are weapons that are created by human beings. When created, that is where their connections with human beings stops. They go on and target their victims and kill them without no human interventions. They don't take advices from people. So they basically do things on their own immediately they have been made. So that's why they are called killer robots. They are specifically made to kill and nothing more than that. So example, those robots, because they can be robots, they can be drones or whatever. Some of them are even like walking things. They made them purposely for killing. They are roaming around the sky. So
in a side interview, Kemo Bojang echoed concerns over AI-powered warfare, noting how modern conflicts is increasingly driven by technology, where nations compete to undermine each other through automated warfare.
Cannons and guns. It got to a time when, during the Second World War, atomic bombs were also used. Like, for example, what happened in Fukushima and also Nagasaki in Japan. So today's warfare is based on technology. It's about who can sabotage your technology as a country, for example, or people with killer robots, or who can use weaponized robotics. But what is important to note is that robots are not free-willed. They are determined that they are controlled by human beings. So it is about encouraging and also educating young people, or generally the population, on how do we make sure that we use AI ethically, which I believe is the best way to go about it. And it's not just about waiting until it gets to us. It's about preparing it's about preparing for it.
By amplifying this critical conversation, the forum serves as a powerful call to action, urging policymakers, technologists, and global stakeholders to to prioritize peace and humanity over unchecked technological warfare, media coverage is expected to further elevate public awareness, inspiring constructive dialogue and ethical responsibility. Lamin Ba.
Well, this is Gambia, and we have the chance today here with to have the coordinator of this activity in Gambia, Omar Abub, is here with us. So, Omar, we are going to allow you some time to talk more about what you actually do in Gambia to mobilize the youth for peace initiatives like this one that we have just seen. Omar, the floor is yours.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, afternoon, everywhere in the world. My name is Omar Mbub. I'm the country coordinator for World Beyond War, Gambia chapter. The Youth for Peace was an event that we collaborate with World Beyond War, Cameroon chapter. They were our key partners, definitely, who support us. For us to able to do the campaign. So, okay, the forum was also targeted by the youth leaders, civil society organization, and also parliamentary rep, and also government stakeholders. So we gathered together at the American corner, that is Fajara. Yeah, we talk about key issue that is alarming in the global world about this autonomous weapon. So we all know that it's something that is affecting the global economy right now. So we have been seeing like what is going on in Palestine and what is also going in Ukraine as well. So the event was very successful. So we gathered together, and we have a panel discussion whereby our panels each we give them topics for them to deal with some topics. And also the event was also very successful. So we also invite media house to come and cover the event. So during the event also we have a very interactive discussion, and also we definitely the event was very 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 successful, and we also recommend a key agenda that also we will work on together with our partners World Beyond War Cameroon. So definitely that is just a brief about what we did about the Killer Robot campaign.
Thank you so much, Omar. I think we are going to proceed. We'll come back after the presentations to have a session on comments, questions, and answer to hear more about what is happening and being done in Africa for peace. So before we proceed then, or while we proceed, I would like to invite Ernest Gibson. Ernest, if you are here with us, it is time for us to have this panel discussion on this disarmament, as we are focusing our presentation on disarmament. So Ernest, you can take the floor to lead this section on disarmament. Ernest, can you unmute? I'm not sure if Ernest is hearing us. Ernest is online. Okay, I think we can hear Ernest, but in the meantime, we are going to now invite, let me see. Okay, since we don't have Ernest available now, we are going to invite Muhammad Sidi from Salam Peace Initiative Nigeria. That's the youth-led organization advancing peace education, civic engagement, and nonviolence in local communities. It's a grassroots partner of Peace Manifesto 2025. So the Salam Peace Initiative mobilizes young people across schools, neighborhoods in Nigeria to promote a culture of peace through dialogue, action, and education. So we are going to see a short video first from Salam Peace Initiative, and behind that, we'll give a floor to Muhammad. The video first, please.
Peace begins with me and you. Across Africa, we don't just talk about peace, we live it. From classroom to communities, peace is our daily promise and practices. As part of Peace Manifesto 2025, we embrace the holistic culture of peace, education, gender equality, human rights, intercultural dialogue, sustainability, and disarmament. Through our voices, we bring these values to life. As we join the peace wave, we remember Hiroshima, Nagasaki as a tragic reminder of what happens when peace is ignored. Never again.
Our communities have faced the trauma of violence, armed conflict, youth arrest, and ethnic division. But through Peace Manifesto 2025 and Salam Peace Initiative, we create a safe space to talk, listen, and heal. Peace is not silence. Peace is the courage to disarm fear and hatred within. We teach our children to solve problems with words, not weapons. We teach the girls their voices matter. And we remember Hiroshima and Nagasaki so that no child anywhere has to live with the horror of war.
In 1996, African leaders signed the Pelendaba Treaty, declaring our continent a nuclear-free zone. This is our legacy, a stand for peace against nuclear destruction. We the youth, with that stand, from Kaduna to Kinshasa, we raise our voices to say never again to Hiroshima, never again to Nagasaki, never again to the weapons that silence humanity. Through the Peace Manifesto, we believe disarmament is not only political, it is moral, educational, and cultural. Peace is power. Peace is power. War is always a mistake. War is always a mistake.
We are the voices of the Peace Manifesto and Salam Peace Initiative Nigeria. We carry the culture of peace in our classrooms, communities, and conversations.
The peace wave is more than a movement. It's a global wave of hope, justice, and education. It is a call to abolish nuclear weapons, end war, and empower youth to build peaceful societies.
As we plan peace, we carry the tragic memory of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, not as history, but as a warning and as a promise. Never again, not in Africa, not anywhere in the world.
We join the peace wave, we join the Peace Manifesto. Let's disarm fear and plant peace from Africa to the world.
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks for Salam Peace in Nigeria. Muhammad, you are here with us. We are interested in hearing more about what you do in your community for peace. You have the floor, Muhammad.
Okay, thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening according to your time zone, and good afternoon from Nigeria. My name is Sidi Muhammad Ibrahim. I'm an educator, SDG advocate, and founder Salam Peace Initiative Nigeria. I also serve as a youth advisor with the Peace Manifesto 2025 campaign. Salam Peace Initiative is a grassroots movement based in Kaduna State, Nigeria. We basically promote peace education, youth empowerment, and intercultural dialogue in schools and higher learning institutions and communities. Actually, we work in, our work is rooted in local actions with global principles. We have proudly adopted the Peace Manifesto 2025 as a guide with its 8 pillars of peace building that help us in shaping our school activities, community dialogue, and digital campaigns. We believe peace is not passive. It must be lived, taught, and practiced daily. And recently, we organized school events where over 300 participants and students benefited from the peace education program. It was direct response to the manifestos, peace manifestos for actions, linking the program to SDGs 4, which is quality education, and SDGs 16, which is peace and justice. We use this opportunity to call on youth, educators, and civil society to unite under the Peace Manifesto's vision and Salam Peace Initiative Nigeria. Peace is our responsibility, and small local actions can lead to global change. Let us continue to be voices for justice, inclusion, and dignity for all. And let us keep the wave of peace across Nigeria, Africa, and the world. Thank you very much for the opportunity to participate in this wonderful program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Muhammad. We are happy to have you here, and we are delighted to see all you do for peace in Nigeria that needs peace, and what you do for Africa that need peace. Thank you for being here to contribute in.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. In the meantime, if people have questions, you are kindly invited to write them in the chat or comment. You are welcome to. We'll raise them when time comes. And now I'm going to invite Chenoba, who is working on peace, journalism for peace, who is going to talk about this topic, the case of African press, which shows the anti-corruption investigation and campaign for peaceful and democratic election in West Africa. So in about 10 minutes, Cheno, please highlight the role of journalists and media organization in promoting peace, good governance, economic development, and human security. So the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you for adding me to the agenda. This great, wonderful event. Listening to all the voices, gives us hope and encourage many young people across the world to for peace. I am Chano Alphaba, and I come from the country of Sierra Leone. I'm currently a journalist and a historian living in exile in the United States. I'm a journalist living in exile in the United States because of my ongoing work against corruption and highlighting or exposing human rights violations in West Africa, especially in Sierra Leone, where I come from. I am the editor-in-chief of the Africanist Press, which is an investigative journalism organization established in 2002 following the end of what we call the Sierra Leonean Civil War, which I believe many people here are familiar with. So the Africanist Press was launched principally as a response to the post-war environment in Sierra Leone to address what we call the grievances that led to the civil conflicts. We were more concerned about how to open up the democratic space and find ways to highlight issues of bad governance that encourage conditions that generate conflict, whether at the community level and at national level and regional levels, as we witnessed. Everybody know that the conflict in Liberia generated global attention, and almost the entire world was preoccupied with that for 10 years. So we did not want to have a repeat of that environment, that kind of a situation, which is why we felt one way to address that is to use media, information, helping people to understand the importance of peace, the need to also alert leaders around grievances that exist in the community. So this is principally what led us to focus on those issues that affect the wider public, issues of governance, public policy, the management of resources, the allocation of resources, social welfare issues. And we have covered a wide range of topics across Africa, not just in Sierra Leone. We've dealt with issues around elections, issues around human rights, multinational corporations, mining companies, and all of that. This is available on africanistpress.com. Our work goes back 20 years now, beginning December 2002 to the present. For the last 6 or more years, I've been living in the United States because of the fact that my work has enlightened or brought to light many of the issues relating to the mismanagement of public wealth in Sierra Leone, involving leading politicians across the major parties in the country and also multinational corporations. That said, while living in exile, myself and my colleagues still continue to raise our voices and highlight issues that we think are impediments to peace, to development, the empowerment of young people, the opening up of the democratic space. And in recent years, the last 5 years, we launched what we call the Right for Justice and Peace Initiative, which is going beyond just reporting news to holding public forums, mostly virtually online, and encouraging publications, opening up our media apparatus to various organizations, community voices as well, where people will produce news for themselves, and we provide a platform for the dissemination of that, for their voices and their concerns to not just within the communities, but globally. So we built what we call the Africanist Press podcast, which is a multimedia platform where voices from across the world, mostly Africans or friends of Africa who are engaged in development issues in Africa, can use our media infrastructure to disseminate news, concerns, or announcements or activities around what they're doing. So we have people in Zimbabwe, across Africa, and who are producing content and sending this to us. We verify that content and help to disseminate that. We call that a people meet. On our own side, the Right for Justice, what we call the Journalism for Peace Initiative, also focuses on elections. In the last elections in Sierra Leone, we held, more than a year-long public education campaigns on Zoom and other multimedia platforms to educate people around the need for peaceful elections, to warn against violence in elections. On a weekly basis, I produce a radio message that's disseminated across West Africa to mostly Sierra Leonean audiences, more than 2 million subscribers, where we highlight some of these useful participation in elections, discouraging violence. And largely speaking, that has opened up people's awareness around not just the importance of peaceful elections, but why they should be able to have a peaceful dialogue around issues of governance. So I would like to share a sample of that clip, that one of those messages leading up to the elections of 2023 in Sierra Leone and up to now, where our messages of peace, peaceful elections, discouraging violence, and the need for community dialogue around good governance was very instrumental in the last elections and continues to be instrumental, which is also why we're paying the price of being constantly harassed by political leaders and policymakers, operations that involved in the extraction of resources, the management of state affairs, and all of that. But what I want to emphasize is that we believe in peace. We believe that instruments of mass communication can us to both at the community, national, regional, and international level to not just educate people, but also arm them with the necessary tools to facilitate dialogue, peaceful dialogue, and the exchange of ideas. We believe that where societies are open, have an open dialogue around differences and how to harmonize those differences in the interest of national cohesion, community cohesion, national development, then the factors that generate conflict and crisis will be perhaps minimized and avoided. So, which is why we have incorporated mass media tools in the process of community and as a way of also raising awareness and arming, like I said, arming young people the necessary tools to engage leaders from the community level to the national level and international levels in the interest, with the hope that they will generate sufficient public opinion in favor of a dialogue for peace and addressing grievances beyond, that beyond just the idea of violence. So, if I may, and I would like to share just an example of what I'm talking about, a little video here. Do I still have time to do that?
Yes, please. You can go ahead, please.
Okay. More. Oh, I hope I'm able to share my screen. Okay, sure. So this is an example of leading up to the elections of 2023, where we were producing. My name na Cherno Alphaba. Me na the editor-in-chief of the African Express and a member of the Right for Justice. I bring you this message today from the United States of America on Thursday, the 22nd of June, 2023. And this message, just like with previous messages, part of the initiative of the African Express and the Right for Justice to promote free, fair, peaceful, credible, and fair elections in Sierra Leone. As we already know, on Saturday, June 24, 19 day, Sierra Leone. Would that mean that each and every registered voter in Freetown, in Lunsar, in Tombo, in Makeni, in Kamakwi, in Cambia, in Karina, in Putloko, voters in Kabala, voters in Koinadugu, voters in Falaba, voters in Maburka, Mabonto, Makali, Matutuka, voters in my 91, Moyamba, Bo, and voters in Pujeo. Everybody will register right across the country, whether at the south of the country, whether at the north of the country, west of the country, or east of the country, when I get an opportunity on Saturday for decide would I get to be the president for the next 5 years, would I go be the members of parliament for the next 5 years, would I go be the member. So I'm just skipping because I don't have the time to next to watch the election, would I can be observers in our own community, observe the election organize people that made it happen line peacefully, prevent anybody who want to cause a halahala during the voting process. We cannot succeed for do that. Not only through a peaceful conduct of the election that we're able to make sure say everybody, from old person to middle-aged person to young person, woman and man, youth man and youth woman are all able to vote. Saturday, that the decision day, the day we will decide the future of the next 5 years. What will happen the next 5 years? They on a hand. You have that power. Now we no more go decide who that go win the election. Now we go decide who that lost the election. International observers need to make sure say nobody not change the result of election. We not help make the world war in a salon by coming out for exercise on a power and on a right for vote. So on that note, we will continue to advocate for peace, stay peaceful. The message as it is right now, very simple. Get voter mobilization groups from street to street, community to community, town to town, city to city, village to from mosque to mosque.
We lost channel, but I think we got the most of it. It is a great work in West Africa. I think the World Beyond War in West Africa will happily rely on this good network of major peace building in West Africa to build its own strategy in communication as we do. We rely on media to foster our work in Africa. Thank you, and I think we will get channel before the end of the event to answer possible question that we will have. So we can now open the floor to comments and have questions, comments, answer of what we have heard or what has been said so far before we conclude this segment. So the floor is open for comment. I will please, Sin, if you can allow people to raise hand and open the microphone and contribute, that would be appreciated. Thanks.
Sorry,
Okay.
Sorry, my
Hi.
went off.
Yeah, I'm trying to raise my hand, but I don't know if you
Yes,
seen me
sir.
or not.
Yes, sir. Please, you can speak. Channel,
Hi,
we get
everybody.
you, please.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to thank you really for this panel. I'm really appreciate your efforts, what you are doing exactly to support our rights, also support Palestinian people. But I wanted to tell you what you are doing exactly. It's very important. And the protest, the documentary TV, the documentary films, anything you are, the protest also, I'm not underestimated anything from them. But you know, for me, for example, I'm my name, sorry, Sahar Al-Qawasmi, the General Director of Roles for Social Change Association. It's Adwar. We are supporting and empowering Palestinian women in different aspects, social, economic, and political participation. But we have problem now, really. I wanted to tell you, the Palestinian people, they need something tangible, something they feel it, they touch it. For example, okay, raising our voice, it's very important, and we have to continue raising our voice. But the most important, what I'm looking for from African also organization, because you are really making an amazing work in the field. I need to support us. What we have now, I believe that the war, it's not against just the Palestinian people. It's also against the Palestinian organization, because they fund now they cannot support us as the Palestinian people need. So the projects, we don't have projects now. There is really a lack of projects, but the Palestinian people, especially the women, because they are facing the double burden, because the effect of the war, finally the Palestinian women, they are suffer from that. What I'm looking for from you, how you can support us, and also how you can support us to contact with another organization that they really believe they want to support the Palestinian people. The humanitarian aid is they need it. It's increased now. We need projects to empower the Palestinian movement, especially in economic. The youth, they don't have any work. The poverty, it's increased now in Palestine. I'm really looking for to find maybe if you make a Google in Googling in the internet, you will see Adwar Association, and we can contact with you in order to see how to respond to the Palestinian people needs, especially the women and disabled. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for raising this. I'm really happy that you spoke about this situation in Pakistan, and it is the same situation that we have in some African countries, in particular in Sudan, that we have women suffering the same, going through the same challenges to access opportunities to rebuild or to be part of initiative. And we have a campaign ongoing to ask for the end of the war in Sudan. And we found these similarities with the case of Palestine. And we were actually looking for ways to talk about these two countries in an event, a public event webinar. And I think it is fine that I got you here after this this call. I think we are going to stay in touch and plan this, try to raise these similarities among these two countries, raise our concerns to any people who can help us to end the wars. I think we can plan this and make it happen.
Yes.
So you get in touch after this call.
I'm waiting, and please, Yani, take it in your consideration, because American policy, they stop the fund, and also European Union, the United Nations, they do not respond exactly how much, and they don't respond as much as the Palestinian people needs. So I'm suffered so much. Let me tell you, I wanted to be honest with you. I leave always my office because there is many women coming to my office asking for help, and we don't have much projects to respond to all these needs, especially in Gaza. Also, this is the most important, and I'm really appreciate if you can support us.
Okay, I just wrote my my email address in the chat so that we can get in touch after that. Any, yes, Cheno, maybe we can get back to you. You can conclude and we give the floor to another one to speak.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with the technology on my end, but yeah, I was just giving an example of the kind of messages that we send out depending on the issues, not just reporting news, but also using mass communication technology to advocate for peace, peace education campaigns, helping to make communities or young people in the larger region understand that they can, advocate for policies and push their interests without necessarily resorting to violence. And this is important in a place like Sierra Leone, where elections have always been historically violent, and the erosion of democratic space was one of the factors that generated the grievances that led to the conflict. So this is how we're using media to advocate for peace. But I also want to say that our infrastructure is available to whosoever that wants to use it to spread messages of peace and human rights, democratic governance and good governance. We make it available to Africans and friends of Africa that want to use it. Our infrastructure is always available for that. So I will end on that note for now.
Thank you, Cheno. I can assure you that we'll make good use of this infrastructure for our work in the continent. Yes, Sin, you raised the hand.
Yes, hi, and hello to everyone here. I am going to share another action on behalf of the organizers of the action. We from the International Peace Bureau have supported the action, but the organizers could not be with us today. So just briefly, I'm going to share it because it's a very interesting case looking at the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, specifically the South and North Kivu provinces. There was a very interesting civil society gathering that was held last Monday, the 7th of July. Hopefully you can see my screen, the invitation that was sent for it. It was held in Goma with several organizations. You can see some of the logos at the top of it here to discuss civil society dialogue and peaceful coexistence in the Eastern DRC in the face of the M23 occupation of the territory. And this event was held in coordination with the occupying forces of the M23 in order to ensure the safety of all of the participants and to ensure that civil society voices, even under such difficult and violent conditions, could be sort of elevated to the top of the conversation. As we've seen in the last week, there was a peace agreement between the DRC, Rwanda, and mediated by the United States, which did not directly involve the M23 or other rebel groups in the Eastern DRC, and was very much a top-down approach to a solution that left out really the important voices of civil society. So this event was also in many ways a reaction to this top-down only approach to peace that governments are taking. Here you can see also just a couple images of the event and some of the participants that were there. Sorry, that was the wrong one. There's the other one there. Yeah, and so you can see it was a really a nice gathering of a lot of leaders, diverse leaders from the region of civil society. We are still waiting on the formal outcome report document of it, but the goal really is for the groups in the region to be able to peacefully coexist with one another, to analyze the dynamics of local conflicts and develop context-specific conflict management interventions, to mobilize peace-building actors for effective intervention, and foster intra and inter-community cultures of peace, as well as establishing a longer-term, multi-stakeholder, collaborative framework for peace building and social cohesion in the region. So we hope to have an updated report of how the outcomes of the events have gone and what the next steps will be soon. But we just want to say I think it's very encouraging to see civil society taking the lead for longer-term peaceful solutions in the Eastern DRC. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sin, for sharing this example of activity. It is very helpful. We look forward to have a report of it, complete when it's available. And I wanted to say that we have a chapter of World Beyond War in DRC, in the South Kivu, and affiliate partners working including in the conflict-affected region. And as you mentioned, the agreement that was signed last month between Congo and Rwanda with the mediation of the US. And I wanted to say that about this agreement, we are currently preparing a webinar to happen on 13 years this month, at the end of this month, to talk about this agreement and how the Africans reacted about it, the chapters of World Beyond in particular, because they are somehow worried by this agreement that it might be maybe another door open to continue imperialism in Africa and to keep population of DRC in misery and war. So I'm sharing the link to this webinar in the chat so that you can register and attend. It will be in French only, though you can have captions in the Zoom to follow what will be discussed in your language. So this is the link. Yes, you can register and you are welcome to be part of that discussion. Any other intervention? Comment on what you know from Africa? What perspectives for peace in this continent?
I think
Yes,
before
Michelle.
we move to the next question, we just have a short intervention as well from Professor Joe, who is also with us in this call. So Professor Joe, if you are here with us, you can also give us your intervention.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear.
Hello? Oh my God.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I want to talk very briefly on the topic Design for Development, using nuclear funds for peace and prosperity in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable delegates, brothers and sisters, it is both an honor and a responsibility to address you today on a matter that lies at the very heart of our collective future, Design for Development, redirecting nuclear funds for peace and prosperity in Africa. We gather at a time of global crisis, climate change, poverty, pandemics, hunger, and violent conflict are causing chaos across the planet. And yet, while these issues demand urgent action, the world's wealthiest nations continue to spend over $80 billion annually on nuclear weapons, tools meant not to protect life, but to destroy it. Meanwhile, millions of children in Africa go to bed hungry. Millions of mothers give birth without medical care. And millions of young people are denied access to basic education and opportunity. This is not just a question of budgeting. It is a moral failure. Let me be clear. Africa is not asking for handouts. We are asking for a shift from fear to fairness, from militarism to meaningful development. Imagine if even a fraction of the money spent on weapons of mass destruction were redirected towards life-saving and life-building efforts. The nuclear paradox, power without purpose. 9 nuclear-armed states spend more annually on maintaining their arsenals than the combined GDP of 30 African countries. A single warhead costs up to $100 million, enough to build 50 health centers, train 1,000 nurses, or bring solar-powered clean water to hundreds of villages. These weapons can't end hunger, won't cure malaria, and won't build schools, but they use resources that could do all of these things. That is the nuclear paradox. We invest in destruction while neglecting the foundations of peace. Real security isn't about the power to destroy. It's like a mother safely delivering her baby, a child learning to read, or a young farmer reaching markets without fear. Disarmament, a path to progress. Disarmament is more than removing bombs. It is restoring dignity, rebuilding trust, and reclaiming resources. Across Africa, from Sierra Leone to Rwanda, we are all too familiar with the cost of conflict. But we've also seen the hope that comes when the guns fall silent. Disarmament allows investment in what matters: education, healthcare, infrastructure, and peace. It creates jobs, builds social trust, and strengthens economies. A warhead will never grow food or teach a child, but a trained teacher or a clean water system can transform an entire community. And disarmament builds global trust. Imagine a world where the money spent on nuclear weapons goes instead into development partnerships with Africa, not over it. Redirecting nuclear funds to education, health, and peace. Let us look at how nuclear funds could empower Africa. 1. Education. With just 5% of the global nuclear budget, we could build thousands of rural schools, train tens of thousands of teachers, and ensure every girl completes her education safely. Healthcare. A single nuclear submarine costs over $3 billion. The exact amount could be 3,000 modern clinics, train 50,000 health workers, and save countless lives. Infrastructure. Redirected military funds could power every village, connect farmers to markets, and equip young people with the tools to thrive in a digital economy. Peace building. Even a small portion of nuclear spending could fund trauma healing, youth employment, youth empowerment, justice reforms, and inclusive peace processes. A call to action. 1. Hold nuclear states accountable under the Non-Proliferation Treaty, not just to prevent spread, but to eliminate existing arsenals. 2. Amplify Africa's unified voice through the Treaty of Palindaba. A nuclear-free Africa must be a model for the world. 3. Link disarmament to global development efforts through institutions like the UN, the World Bank, and IMF. 4. Educate and mobilize through civil society, media, and schools, so every African understands that bombs don't build futures, but books do. In closing, remember this: every dollar spent on nuclear weapons is stolen from a child who needs a classroom, from a mother who needs a clinic, from a nation that needs roads, light, and hope. As Kofi Annan once said, disarmament is not just an end in itself. It is a path to a safer, more equitable world. Let us walk that path together. Let us disarm so we can develop. Let us dismantle weapons and build dreams. Let us put an end to the drums of war and lift up the songs of hope. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor, for commenting and speaking on this important issue of diverting the expenses of military to services like education. We highly need that in Africa. We also have here Dr. Obi Neji, who's the first Vice Principal of Society for Peace Studies and Practices. So he shall speak on on the echoes of Hiroshima lesson for Africa, strengthening peace to prevent future wars. Please, Dr. Obi, if you can unmute and take the floor on this. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much. Can you confirm if you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Yes, my name is Ndifon Neji Obi, the first Vice President of the Society for Peace Studies and Practice. SPSP is a global organization that is into peace scholarship and practice. It's a melting point where scholarship meets practice, and very briefly, I'll be addressing us on the title, as mentioned, The Echoes of Hiroshima, Lessons for Africa, Strengthening Peace to Prevent Future Wars. And my discussion with us will be structured around 4 basic points. One, an overview of the title. Second will be Echoes of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Third, what lessons can we glean from the event of 1945? And finally, what strategies exist for strengthening peace to prevent future wars? For a start, we need to understand that the Echoes of Hiroshima, Lesson for Africa, Strengthening Peace to Prevent Future War, is a global call. Now, a global call that we're going to domesticate within the context of Africa. So it is therefore a call for Africa to promote peace and all its attributes, and at the same time reject all forms of violence. Let me add up by saying we are all familiar with the development that happened far back in 1945, exactly 80 years today, where on the 6th and on the 9th of August 1945, the United Nations dropped a nuclear bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And we are also aware of the aftermath of that nuclear bomb attempt. We're also aware of the impact and the gravity and the charred ruins that were left behind by that event. That up till date as we speak, people still suffer, not just in that part of the world in Japan, but globally, because the world has become a global village. What affects one affects the entire global community. So with that, you also, at that point, we discovered that what was left after that event were basically charred ruins. The world was redefined. The memories that echoes from there, the gravities that were left behind, the charred ruins that occasioned that event in 1945 are part of the things that are going to structure our discussion during this session. So as a continent of Black people, there are several lessons we need to learn from the event of 1945. Now, it is very ideal to ask, 80 years after the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, how come we still feel the impact, not just in that part of the world in Japan, but all over the world? Nuclear warhead proliferation has become a key issue globally. Until recently, we are aware of what happened, the tussle between the United States and Iran. So it's a global contest. Continents, regional organizations, sub-regional organizations have gone into developing treaties on how to demilitarize, on how to embark on advocacy, just like what World Without War is doing, what the International Peace Bureau is doing, and what several other organizations are doing to ensure that nuclear proliferation is checked. Now, if we have to look at this fully, One of the critical takeaway of the activities of 9th and the 6th of August 1945 is this very uncomfortable reality that war itself is not a veritable way of handling conflict issues. That is a critical takeaway from what happened in 1945. And if there is anything to go by, if that is what we're going to base our discussion today on, then it suffices to say that war should be outlawed. Diplomacy, dialogue, negotiation, and other forms of ADR should take the front burner. Now, beyond that, we'll go to the second point to look at what lessons has Africa learned from all of this. Now, we'll begin to look at it that war is not only an exclusive preserve of Europe or Asia. Typically, Africa has suffered a greater chunk of various pockets of warfare, whether the level of intrastate or interstate or intra-regional. Africa has actually suffered. So the stark reminder of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki event is to the extent that Africa will need to learn lessons that war is not a veritable means of managing conflict situations, that war has come at a very high expense, dislocation, displacement, killings, undermining political strength, undermining the economy of Africa, and undermining a lot of other things. So it's therefore important that Africa, including its various regional organizations, the ECOWAS, the AU, the SADC, etc., should see war not just as a last resort, should see war not just in terms of von Clausewitz's classification of war as an extension of diplomacy, should see war as something that should never be engaged in. Let diplomacy, let other form of alternative dispute resolution take the front burner in whatever Africa has to do. So beyond that, part of the lessons we also need to learn as Africans from the event of 1945 in Hiroshima and Nagasaki is the fact that victory in wars are just temporal. Now, it may be on record that yes, what happened in 1945 in the Nagasaki and Hiroshima, a particular country can say, oh, yes, we came out tops, but what has been the long-term effect of the so-called Pyrrhic victory? What has been the effect? Today, we are also aware that people and children born in Japan, especially in that context, still suffer from the aftermath of the bomb that took place 80 years ago. So lessons to learn by Africa is that war is an act in futility, and the cost of war is catastrophic. And therefore, Africa should not engage in war. Lesson to also learn from that event is that war derailed development, especially in the African context. It diverts resources from essential services, healthcare, education, and perpetuates a cycle of poverty and instability. So war should not be considered as an option. Africa needs to learn this lesson and learn it painfully. And in dealing with also this, we also need to know that part of the reason or the solution or the strategies in dealing with this, as I mentioned earlier,
Are you still there, Doctor? Maybe connectivity issue? Okay, Professor. Okay, I think while we
hear me?
Yes. Okay. Please, we have you to conclude. Yes.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, that's very, very quickly. I was saying that part of the reason to the strategies of dealing with these issues of war and as the lessons learned from the event at of Hiroshima and Nagasaki is that Africa and African leadership should prioritize alternative dispute resolution deliberately as policies of state, as policies of the region and policies of the continent, to ensure that issues, no matter how difficult, are approached from the perspective of diplomacy and alternative dispute resolution. And this is because the cost of war is unbearable. It outlives the warring parties, it outlives the actors, and affects generations that are yet unborn. Lessons from Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We can also learn that the dangers of war itself leads to escalation. Now, we may also get to be reminded that 80 years after the event in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, we still feel the impact till date. So there's a tendency for war to outlive a cycle, to proliferate, for the actors to proliferate, for the issues to proliferate. So based on the possibility of war escalating beyond a specific timeline, war should also be outlawed. So a war without war is possible. For Africa, we must also guard against the proliferation of small arms. We know that Africa has become a dumping ground of all manner of technology and outdated equipment. And what that happens, the porosity of our borders makes it easy for arms to find their ways into Africa. And therefore, the various wars we have suffered in Africa are things that we need to learn that Africa can do without such wars. We also have to understand, as part of the lessons learned from Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that Africa should prioritize human security. I'm happy Prof in his presentation made allusion to the fact that guns, bullets, and torpedoes cannot put food on the table. They cannot ensure a stable country, nation, or the globe. So what would ensure our level of stability is when we are consciously and deliberately driving the agenda of human security. We need to respect the dignity of the human person. We need to provide health. We need to provide food. We need to provide education. These are things that can make Africa what it's supposed to be. So overall, we should also get to understand as Africans and part of the global community that the lessons learned from the Hiroshima and Nagasaki are lessons that should tailor and reconstruct Africa security architecture. So beyond that, the power of reconciliation and healing. Of course, we have the Ubuntu tradition in Africa, and we know that, of course, none of us is as good as all of us. So when we begin to see the humanity in the next person, it makes reconciliation even quicker. So part of the proposal and as a result of the lessons learned from what happened in Hiroshima is that Africa should try and adopt the Ubuntu tradition where the healing is discussed, where community cleansing ceremonies are encouraged, where reconciliation are encouraged in its own way. Africa should build on its local capacity to ensure that issues that may have a tendency to lead to conflict and war are addressed before they become life-threatening. So Africa, therefore, as part of the lessons, must be able to stand as a united entity and reject all form of war, whether it's from within or from without. Should reject all form of external infiltration to cause war in Africa, because the aftermath of what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki 80 years after still haunts not just that part of the world, still haunts the entire global community. Part of my conclusion is that we have as a community, not just as Africans, but as a world, to be reminded that peace is a global commodity. We all have the currency to buy peace, but the context has not given us the powers and the enabling environment to acquire the concept of peace. We can develop more traditionally ingenious ways of dealing with conflicts and ensuring have peace in place. So thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
Yes, we are grateful, Doctor. Thank you. for sharing this, all about what we call at the World Beyond War a certain number of myths around war that we work to debunk. So this is the link to the myth of that word in the chat that we can see. So we still have 5 minutes to conclude this session. And please, Professor Swaibu Issa online, who is the regional coordinator of Central Africa Society for Peace Studies and Practice, to just share in, sorry, Professor, for 3 minutes about Design for Development, redirecting nuclear funds to peace and prosperity in Africa. Just in a few minutes, Professor, for us to wrap up and end the session, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Are you hearing me?
Yes, Professor, we can.
Okay, just to be brief, no matter how lethal weapons are, nuclear weapons are, no matter how huge armies have weapons, these weapons can only destroy, kill non-actors. They cannot address the drivers of a conflict, and so they cannot avoid reproduction. So disarming or using part of the money from disarmament connected to the reduction of defense budgets, which continuously are growing in African countries, and especially in sub-Saharan African countries, which are connected, which are confronted to various kinds of insurgency, will not be, should be the best mean, I think, to make sure that we are combining disarmament, using of the spared money, connection to the reduction of defense budget in African countries, so that all of this money will be used in order to combine, to match development, social amenities, and conflict prevention. The suggested approach is to inject the funds saved from nuclear spending, along with a percentage of each African country's defense budget, into economic, social development, and peace-building initiative, using a process similar to that employed for the highly indebted poor countries initiatives that used money from debt in order to fund social amenities. 3 lines of implementation. The first one will be to improve connectivity in order to ease national and cross-border movement of peoples and goods, creating jobs, relaunching trades, so that in the remote areas where criminal and insurgents gangs used to operate, we can have activity connection so that they will no longer have enough space where to operate. Secondly, develop education, training, and health facilities in these peripheral areas so that people can access a good basic education, professional training, and quality healthcare without traveling far. And the objective is to prevent from turning to the alternative governance offered by terrorists that is current in many African countries confronted now to violent extremism. And third and last, promote smart agriculture and agropoles, including livestock farming and fishing, enhancing productivity and revenues, and to better protect the environment and adapt to a changing climate. We have to understand that intercommunity conflicts and vulnerability to recruitment by extremists in rural areas stem from low incomes and climate hazards impacting harvest. These vacant lands will be occupied by agribusiness facilities so that their sanctuarization by non-state actors groups, non-state armed groups would be considerably hampered. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor, in particular for keeping the time short. Sorry for that. And I think this is so important that I think we'll have to convene you, Professor, again, and Dr. Oji Neji to speak in the particular session or specific session on this topic, which is really important to to us. And I want to also thank everyone who took the time to participate at this session. And as we conclude, I just want to invite you all to join efforts as we are already doing here virtually, but we have to take it off online to create more spaces, to do more actions, to take more actions together to ensure that peace becomes not just a dream for us in Africa, but really a reality. Thank you so much for the technical support that Michelle and Sin brought to us to have this session. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you to everyone. We are now concluding part. Oh God, what part is this? Part 7 of the Peace Wave. We are working our way over halfway through now. We are going to briefly stop the recording and live streaming and then restart them for the next segment. So bear with us for 1 second.